If you're prepping for a SOF selection and you think maybe you're not recovering from your training sessions, then this video is for you. I'm going to go into talking about the 5 signs that can indicate that you are not recovering appropriately from your training sessions, and then dive into some strategies that you can implement today so that you can start recovering on a day-to-day basis, so that you can see the progress you want to see. You can reduce your risk of injuries, and if you are unfortunately going through an injury, this can help you overcome that injury, right? So the 5 signs that I look for when speaking with clients to indicate that maybe they're not recovering from their training sessions are excessive muscle fatigue. So just constant muscle tiredness, right? It's normal to have some fatigue, some tiredness after a training session. But if we're feeling that for 3, 4, 5 days after a single training session, then it's a good indication that we're probably not recovering efficiently as we would like to. The next is excessive soreness, right? So delayed onset muscle soreness is normal. You know, the first 1 or 2 days of muscle soreness, especially when we're just getting into training or we're switching up training, that's normal. But if we're having like a high intense soreness in our muscles for 3, 4, 5 days, again, that's a little bit too long for my liking and indicates we're probably not recovering appropriately from our training. The next 2 are less physical, right? They're more of, emotional and how you're feeling like on a day-to-day, week-to-week basis. And the first one is just lack of energy, right? You're not able to show up the way you want to for your family. You're not able to bring the energy that you need to for work. And overall, you're just low energy throughout the day. That's a good indicator that you aren't recovering from your training sessions. And the next one is lack of motivation. If you're prepping to go into special operations, you have a large internal drive. And if that drive is slowing down, that motivation is going away, it's one of the indicators that maybe you're not recovering from your training on a day-to-day basis. And finally, the obvious one is pain or injury. If you're constantly having pain, if you're having frequent injuries, the same injuries showing up over and over and over again across a year span, it's a good indicator that, maybe recovery isn't where it needs to be. And that's the first place I usually look. So you determine, I don't feel like I'm recovering from my training session, what to do. So I look at 3 main strategies that really boost your overall recovery so that you can see the progress you want to see with your training. You can reduce those injuries and you can also recover from injuries. And they are sleep, nutrition, and load management, right? Sleep is huge. Sleep is truly where the magic happens. The International Sleep Foundation recommends 7 to 8 hours of sleep because that gives your body enough time to go into those deep sleep zones where actual muscle repair, muscle recovery happens. That's where muscle growth truly happens. That's where the muscle repairs itself, when we're in those deep zones of sleep. The next is nutrition. We have to be bringing in the fuel the body requires to repair itself. If we're constantly in a calorie deficit, our body may not be getting the nutrients, the fuel it requires to get stronger. So then you can build that strength, you can build that endurance, and you can continue training at a high level for extended periods of time. And finally, load management. So this is more looking at your actual training, right? Are you front loading your training so the rest of the week you're just shot and sore? Or is the volume and intensity spread out throughout a week so that you have enough time to recover on a day-to-day basis from your training? So those 3 strategies right there, if you look at that and you really place emphasis on your recovery, then you can be pretty clear and you can be pretty confident that you are able to recover on a day-to-day basis so that, again, you can see the progress you want to see with your training. You can reduce injuries and you can overcome injuries if you're unfortunately going through them. If you want more information like this, if you found this valuable, head down to the link in the description, go to the Facebook page, join the Facebook group, and you'll be seeing more information like this.